Good day, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. In today's coverage of the ongoing civil war taking place inside of the former state of Ethiopia, the fighting continues. We are seeing an increase in airstrikes by the Abiy loyalist formations, really all across the Tigray region. We have seen in the last week, in the last 2 weeks, there have been fairly significant setbacks by the Abiy loyalists, especially within the vicinity of the southern Tigray region. So, again, as we had talked about in previous videos, the Abiy loyalist formations and Amhara regional militias have been evicted from southern Tigray, and the Tigrayan Defense Forces are now actually operating across the border from Waja in the northern Amhara region, and again are threatening Kobo. Additionally, in the west, in western Tigray, we continue to see the Tigrayan Defense Forces crossing the Tikizi River and marshaling along staging areas very close to the Tikizi River, both on the east and, in some cases, the west side of the Tikizi River. But as we have seen, the uptick in battlefield losses and battlefield defeats of recent by the Abiy loyalist formations, we have nonetheless have observed a uptick in airstrikes, both the utilization of drones carrying out semi-precision guided missile strikes. And again, some of these strikes now that we are observing taking place regarding the use of drones, apparently, they are either having some very poor intelligence in terms of some of the targeting that is going on, because again, within the last 24 hours, we have seen another set of airstrikes on civilian targets. This one killing many women and some children in the Tigray region. And again, before that, we have seen a previous airstrike which saw the loss of life almost numbering 60, with many more wounded in those strikes as well. And those are the strikes that are being reported, and we can verify, and we know are occurring. We can also confirm that there are a lot more strikes being used, especially by some of the bomb trucks of the Abiy loyalist formations, i.e., the SU-27s. That are being used to drop dumb bombs, and then obviously the MiG-23s and some of the training aircraft that are being utilized to drop dumb bombs on indiscriminate targets inside of the Tigray region. Again, these appear to be more of retribution strikes. They do not have any weight on the ongoing conflict. Again, they're attacking in what appears to be, at least, civilian targets. And obviously, if they're attacking civilian targets, these are not military targets, thus having a limited impact on the course of the conflict, other than terrorizing the civilian population inside of the Tigray region. And it's extremely unfortunate, as we are seeing both the anaconda strategy continuing, in which starvation in some areas of the Tigray region is rampant. The ability to move precious food and other much needed necessities of life, such as food and medications, are being cut off. And now we are starting to see an uptick in the indiscriminate use of air power in the Tigray region. And again, we're probably starting to see this out of frustration by the Abiy loyalist formations, especially in terms of the recent battlefield defeats that took place in southern Tigray, within the vicinity of Alamata and just north of Alamata. And then those forces were then evicted from the southern Tigray region in a fairly significant battlefield defeat in southern Tigray. Additionally, we are seeing further activity by the Eritrean army. Again, the Eritrean army is looking to hold on, especially to the town of Hamora and other areas in western Tigray. Again, if the Eritrean army were to withdraw from some of these areas in western Tigray and go back to the original borders post-conflict or pre-conflict, then this war, this operation that was launched by Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki, again, were all for naught, other than expending both treasure and blood on the operation in the Tigray region. The only thing at this point Isaias Afwerki holds after this fairly disastrous military operation is certain areas in western Tigray, and then obviously the Amhara regional militias also control territories in western Tigray too. So again, if those forces are evicted and we go back to pre-conflict territory, then this conflict was all for naught other than the expense of treasure and blood. With that being said, we are continuing to see the Eritrean army shell targets. We are seeing the town of Shiraro right here on my map. This is most likely a staging area within the vicinity of Shiraro for the Tigrayan Defense Forces in terms of operations that are taking place or getting ready to take place across the Tikizi River. So it does make sense in terms of some of the operations we're seeing by the Eritrean army to shell the main roadway leading from Shiraro to the Tikizi River area, which is over in this area here on my map, as you can see. But again, there does appear to be at least an uptick in Eritrean military activity, especially just across the border in terms of targeting the town of Shiaro. And then we continue to see the Eritrean military on high alert operating in western Tigray. We had received reports that some Eritrean military units were reinforced, especially in western Tigray, specifically near the town of Hamora. And that operation continues for the Eritrean army. But again, we're going to continue to monitor this situation very, very closely, especially the operations that are ongoing in western Tigray. But at the same time, they're starting to get a lot of media attention in terms of the airstrikes that are occurring throughout the Tigray region at this point. We had seen the widespread use of drones going after military targets within the confines of the northern Amhara region along the A2 highway up towards Weldia. But this has since transitioned into direct airstrikes over the last several weeks in the Tigray region itself. And again, not just drones, but the use of multi-role fighter bombers dropping dumb bombs throughout the Tigray region. We continue to see these airstrikes underway near Shire and other areas throughout the Tigray region. And again, as I talked about before, the civilian casualties are starting to mount. And again, not just from the Anaconda strategy, but because of direct airstrikes by the Abiy loyalist formations. But again, we expect that this will continue as the Abiy loyalists continue to be frustrated and suffer battlefield defeats both in southeastern Tigray and quite possibly very soon in western Tigray as well. We will continue to monitor the situation and report with additional coverage coming very, very soon. Have a good day, everybody.